Welcome back to the Power and Purpose podcast. I'm Vanessa Soul, your host. Thank you so much for investing your time and your energy into tuning in today's episode. I greatly appreciate it. And I'm super excited for today's guest. We have Malti Patel, and she is a PhD, a manifestation teacher, and a spiritual guide helping people tap into the universe, release limiting beliefs, and consciously create their best lives. Malti, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Oh, it's great to meet you, Vanessa. I'm very looking forward to chatting with you on the show to help people empower themselves, I think.
Yes, absolutely. That's the best mission to have. I love asking people my signature question, who are you and who are you not?
Who am I? I think I've been on the spiritual path for so long. I literally think of myself as like a just pure spiritual being, believe it or not. So I'm constantly just trying to connect to the universe and just follow all the practices I've learned about. So I think I'm very kind of spiritual. I try and practice it as much as I can. I try not to judge. I try to just always kind of be based in love and stuff. So I think for me, I would say I'm kind of spiritual through and through, more than anything, more than qualifications or whatever. That to me is the most important thing.
So tell us about the time that you were living in Sydney with quote unquote everything, yet you sensed something was missing. I love tapping into the part of our story that is like the prelude to our
Yeah.
transformation or the prelude to where we are today. What did that look like? What was happening?
Yeah, so I was in the Sydney in the late 90s before the internet and everything, believe it or not. And I had a great life. I had a great friends. The weather's fabulous. The beaches are fabulous. So, and I had a great job in IT. I had enough money. So I was having a ball, like everything. I had the money to pay the bills, no problem, to go out to have a good time. Yeah. And it's like, to me personally, that was like, well, I've got everything I want. And I remember I was at a beach one weekend with all my friends. I'm having a great time. And I don't know, I just kind of thought I'll go for a walk on my own along the beach. And I was just walking along and I just get this kind of, I just said out, I don't know if I said it out loud or like, if there's something out there, something else, please let me know. And it's funny because before this, I didn't really believe in spirit or anything. I was a bit like most people, like there might be something, but I'm not sure. So I just kind of said this out loud, even though I didn't know what it meant. And then the very next week, I was drawn to go to a bookshop and I just started looking at the mind, body, spirit section. And I bought Wayne Dyer's You'll See It When You Believe It. And that basically just opened my eyes to the whole of this other part of the spiritual world. I just read that. And then I just read as much as I could, all authors. It was almost like you'd been starved of it so much, the spiritual aspect. It was like, I got to read, I got to read, I got to see, and it's like, I really feel that with that aspect, my spiritual aspect, I always felt more complete and whole. And it's funny, like I never feel alone ever. I always feel like there's something around me constantly helping me and supporting me. So yeah, that was my introduction. So I started off like most people, didn't really believe it. And then I just thought there has to be more. There was this kind of like little void, like needed to be filled. And I think the spiritual work has done that.
So I want to touch on something, and I love your story about this because correct me if I'm misaligned on this, but it sounds like it was just like an inquiry and that it was a smooth curiosity.
Mm.
And you could tell me in a second, but I want to mention something because this is what I'm comparing it to. Other people like myself, we get these rude awakenings where we're like
Yeah.
shaken up in a
I know.
jar, right? Our
Yeah.
life is falling apart. We're like,
Yeah.
so we come to the universe like, sometimes it's a
Yeah.
desperate energy. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not shaming or blaming anyone. And sometimes it's just like this full, complete surrender because the ego, maybe gets us into a pickle or we're just like, I
Yeah.
can't, like, I surrender everything. So is that a assumption a little correct or was it a smooth inquiry? And the reason why I'm curious is because I think some people who are spiritually curious, they think, well, I don't want to have to go through a devastating time. I want to start spirituality and I want to start the path, but I don't know if I'm ready for the shakeup. That's why I'm asking. Yeah.
No, you're right, Vanessa. I'm very much, I don't know if you've heard of that tale of the tortoise and the hare, where the tortoise goes very slowly and the hare's always racing ahead. I'm more the tortoise. I just want to go at my own easy pace. I don't like rude awakenings.
So it is possible, right? I wanted to highlight this for the listeners.
Yeah, I mean, so it is possible. I mean, looking back, I feel I've had many lifetimes now where I have been spiritual. So it was almost like on the back burner. And that was the time where I had to start at that point. But I think also my own soul is one of like, I want to take it easy. I don't want these rude awakenings. It's too much for me. So let's take it easy. And that's what I've done because I've been doing it for 20 years on a nice, easy path for me. So maybe it's also a kind of soul thing. I don't know. Depends what kind of person you are, I think.
Yes, yes. But what I really want to highlight is it absolutely is possible. Everyone's on their own journey, you guys. You can't compare it to mine or someone else's. And I think,
Yep.
we hear about these stories that are jarring because stories are compelling. And when
Yeah.
when you do hear someone's shocking experience, you're happy that they made it out.
Yeah.
You're happy that they found the
True.
light. But Mattel or Malti, excuse me, I'm sorry, I was
That's
looking
all
at you.
right.
But Malti is a beautiful example of how you could still have the desire. You could listen to your intuition. You can inquire about what's on the other side of your status
Yeah.
quo beliefs, and the universe will support you in whatever's best for you. Any thoughts on that?
I think so. The universe is always listening. We don't even have to believe it's there. And I think when I said that out loud, I had no idea why I was saying it, who I was saying it to. It's like, part of me is thinking, crazy girl, what are you doing? But I think I want people to know the universe is there. It's always listening, whether you believe it or not, whether you're angry with it or not. It's always loving you and always there for you. So yeah, you don't have to go through a baptism of fire. If you're curious, you can just say, please guide me in the best way for me and see where it takes you.
I love that. What about manifestation? Do you work with manifestation at all?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've been very interested in manifestation for a long, long time. So I've read many, many books on it. And I feel I think I've come to the conclusion we're all creating all the time, but because we've never been taught, we're on a default creation where most of the time we're creating stress and worry and money problems. And it's because we've been brought up not to realize your thoughts, your beliefs, they're creating the whole time. And that's what I've realized with my work is once I start to harness my thoughts and my beliefs, once I become in charge of them and they don't take charge of me, that's when I start to manifest the life I want. And I think that's what I'm trying to get people to realize. You're creating all the time, but take charge of it.
And tell us about your book. What is it called and what is it about?
I don't know if you can see this, but it is called, I think it's a bit blurred probably, but it's called Manifesting from the Soul, How to Raise Your Vibration and Unleash the Power Within. And it's like an introduction to manifesting. It's short and sweet. And it basically goes through the fact that, we're kind of born as babies. We're just, we're happy. Nothing's happened to us. And we have these energy fields around us, like your emotional body, your mental body, and so on. And as we grow up, we take on the beliefs of our parents, our carers, our teachers. We things happen to us that hurt us. And it's almost like our energy fields get kind of gunky with all this kind of energy that's kind of making us feel bad about ourselves, low self-esteem, low self-worth. And it's about how to get rid of that. If you have limiting beliefs around money, relationships, career, it's like a step-by-step guide on like, well, do you have these limiting beliefs? If you do, get rid of them. You can use affirmations. I use something called lofty questions, which is spoken about by other people. And so it's a real step-by-step guide on how to start manifesting. And also, it's very important to stay in the high vibrations of gratitude and joy as much as possible, which is very difficult for a lot of people. So I give a lot of exercises, and the reviews say it's good because I can fit this into a busy life. It's not like you need to get up 2 hours early and meditate. It's more like, take 5 minutes of your day and do this. So it's very kind of applicable. So what I'm wanting to do is to help people kind of study themselves and say, hey, you know, my mum and dad gave me this limiting belief about money. I don't want it anymore. I'm going to throw it out. I'm going to have a new empowering belief. And it's all about that. And also how to start connecting with your angels, your guide, your soul, and tips and exercises on how to find your soul purpose. So it's kind of like cover all of everything.
What are one of the practical techniques to clear a belief system or a block? Do you have anything like that?
Yeah, so what I mean, I really like meditation because I really feel if you can meditate, that will clear so much energy pretty fast. And so I do say, you know, write down your limiting beliefs around money, relationships, whatever, you know, are you lovable? Do you feel you're lovable? Or do you feel you're worthy of earning $100,000 or not? Whatever, just write down all these limiting beliefs. And then I really feel that it's good to do a meditation where you see them being burnt away. And so that's what I suggest. And then after the meditation, rip up the paper. And so it's about working on the energy level because those beliefs are energies stuck to you. And it's about getting rid of them. And then it's like use affirmations to create new powerful beliefs. And this thing called lofty questions as well.
What's a personal example of you calibrating? That's the term I like to use instead of manifestation. But what was one example of a manifestation that you brought into form?
Don't know. I mean, I was looking for a property a few years ago to buy a property, obviously. And I didn't want to go down the route of having to look at 10, 20 apartments at the weekend. You know, I'm quite lazy. I just wanted to look at one or two. So I kind of gave intent to just, when I was on the website, to just tune in and see if a property felt right for me to go and see it. So even if a property fit the criteria, if I wasn't feeling it, I wasn't going to go and see it. And using that sort of manifestation technique, I found my property. The second thing I saw was the one I bought. And also, oh yeah, this is a good one as well. Years ago, when I was in Australia, I was going to sell my car. And I decided my car was worth $8,000, right? And all my friends were like, nah, you'll never get $8,000. Are you joking? Like, you know, it's not worth that much. And so I actually kind of meditated and I gave intent and I kind of decided, yeah, it's going to, you know, I kind of visualized people coming to see my car and saying, hey, here's $8,000, exactly what you want. And that's what happened. A father came with his daughter. They looked at my car and no kind of arguing. Yeah, it's worth 8,000. We'll give you that. And my friends were absolutely shocked. They were like, how did you do that? But it's because I was practicing this stuff. And manifestation, actually, the key is to have no doubts that this is going to manifest. And if you can start getting to that kind of stage, that's when it becomes magical.
So beautiful. Thank you for those examples. One example that I have personally, I probably was like 11 years old. And kids
Wow.
are probably the best
Yeah,
at
they
manifesting
are.
because of what you just said.
Yeah,
The key is to have no doubts or less doubts if you can. But I want to tell the story because I think it relates. So my parents were splitting up. They were getting a divorce, and I was riding in the car with my dad, and I could tell he was down about something. I couldn't put my finger on it. I was a highly empathic kid,
yeah.
clairaudient, all the things. I had turned it off for a couple during these years. I thought I turned it off, right? It was under control. But we were driving past this one condominium place, and I saw like a for sale sign or for rent sign or something, and I was asking my dad. I was like, "Well, what's wrong?" He's like, "Well, you know, we have to move out of the house by this day, and I don't know where I'm going to go. I've been applying to these places, and everything keeps getting taken." He was telling me,
Mm.
and we were at this stoplight, and I was facing the condominium, and the passenger side is an 11 years old person, girl. And I just said, God, please give my dad that spot. That one's available. Just give him that one. And I just, no doubt. And we were at the stoplight for like, I don't know how, 30 seconds, however long
Yeah.
stoplights are. And then we just drove off, didn't think anything about it. In less than a week, my dad's like, hey, why don't you come over for dinner? We got that place over here by so-and-so's house or whatever.
Yeah.
And I didn't think much of it. It wasn't until in hindsight that I was deeper into my consciousness journey
Yeah.
or my empowered journey. And I just, you know, I journal very often, very, very often.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
talk to all the little versions of myself, the 11-year-olds and all the things. And there was one meditation where I thanked her and I was like, thank you for believing in that. You had no idea what
Yeah.
manifestation was or
Yes.
willpower or I
Yeah.
had a complicated relationship with God and universe at the time because of the church that
Yes.
my parents were involved in. So I wanted to offer that example because if you could think back, for anyone listening, if you could think back to a time
Mm.
when you were a kid, that also might connect you to how you've been able to manifest this whole entire time. Like
Yes.
Malti talked about how we are always calibrating to a reality. We're always manifesting. So,
Mm.
and yes, sometimes it's the things we don't want because
Yeah.
we
Yes.
may lack a little bit of intention, but we are always creating our reality. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think unfortunately we're kind of brought up to always kind of worry a bit and almost like, I'm not good enough for that to happen. And I think because we're on this kind of default kind of negative setting, that's what we start to manifest. I don't deserve the best job. I don't really deserve the best relationship. And so we are manifesting. And I think you might, your listeners might think, well, that's not fair because, all this is happening to me. But on a certain level, we're kind of I kind of feel as a spiritual teacher say everything around you is a reflection of what's inside you. And so it's kind of a good idea to kind of say, right, I need to work on myself to change the reflection on the outside because we are always manifesting and it does take work, but it's worth it.
And how can inviting angels or divine support help us in our calibration or manifestation practices?
I think because one, it gives you that sense that, hey, somebody's got my back, somebody's supporting me the whole time. And the thing about them is they will love you unconditionally. It doesn't matter if you've been nasty. It doesn't matter if you shouted at someone, they still love you unconditionally. There's no question. And so that's a really kind of great feeling, like they're here. And also, I think they can like give you nudges and insights that you might never have thought of yourself, like you're wanting to buy a place and you might just keep looking at websites, but at some point you might get this intuitive nudge, oh, I'll just go for a walk in this area and you might see that perfect place you want to buy, a bit like your dad driving past that apartment. So they're always there and they can give you advice that you might not think of yourself, which is why it's great to have that kind of connection.
And when we are experiencing the doubt, besides meditation, what other tools or awarenesses do you recommend?
Well, I talk a lot always about the gratitude exercise, which I'm sure most people have heard of, but I really love gratitude because it's so simple and fast. Like you think of three things you're grateful for every day, just a little thing like that when you're driving, making a coffee, whatever, just to flip your mind to focus on a good thing. Because I think that's a problem with the doubts. It's like anything, the more you focus on something, the worse it gets. So if we can just keep our minds kind of flipping to gratitude or something positive, eventually that will start to work its way into our conscious mind where we're in that vibration, that state longer. So
Beautiful.
gratitude is a great one.
What if someone is manifesting and they're in their gratitude practices, whatever that might look like for them, and they
Yeah.
feel like they have as little or no doubts as possible for a period of time, right? Let's just say someone's really
Mm.
monitoring this for 30 days or 2 weeks, and they're really intentional and their manifestation's not coming to fruition just yet. What is your insight on that?
That's when I would say look at your beliefs, because I would say you have a limiting belief. So your beliefs are like brick walls. Yeah. You can be gratitude all day long, but it's like your manifestation is coming and it's hitting that big, bam, brick wall. You have a limiting belief. So it's almost like you have to work you have to really look at your beliefs and say, what is it that I believe that isn't allowing this to manifest? Because I don't know if you've heard this, it's like the universe, it's like a restaurant. When you want to manifest something, it's like going to the restaurant, saying to the universe, hey, universe, I want this. But it's almost like when the universe brings it to you, you say, no, I know, I can't have it. You know what I mean? And that's your limiting beliefs because the universe is always going to bring it to you. But have you got the kind of self-belief, this kind of worthiness to say, okay, I'll have that. Thank you very much. And so look at your beliefs because they are massive.
What are 5 common limiting beliefs? These may not resonate with everyone, you guys, but we're just talking about the common ones so that we can raise
Mm.
awareness. What do you think some 5 common
Well,
limiting
I
beliefs
think
are?
when it comes to money, it's like money is the root of all evil, or, you know, like, I'm not worthy to have the best. Well, this is a subconscious belief. I'm not worthy of great love. It's not something you'd consciously think. What else? I mean, I think it's all around this. It's a lot to do with what you're brought up with as well. What did your parents instill in you? You know, where you kind of, is there a belief that a teacher said, oh, you're not bright enough, you're never going to get a great job, and it's sunk down into the subconscious mind?
Okay, let me track these for a second. I'm going to pause you. So the first one could be, for some of us, these are just common ones, get your brain stirring here. Could be money is the root of all evil. Another one could be that we're not smart enough or worthy enough. Is that right? Is
Yeah,
that what you just said? Okay.
yeah,
What
I
are
think.
three more possibly?
Oh gosh, now you've got me. um, Three more. There are probably so many. It's like, okay, so when it comes to money, I mean, a lot of rich people are quite, you know, are quite arrogant, are quite, you know, egotistic. And maybe one of your beliefs is actually, I don't want to be rich because I don't want to be like those people, you know, I don't want to be like that. And so it stops money coming to you because you think if you're going to be rich, you're going to become arrogant and egotistic or whatever. And so
Yeah,
that's,
I think that one goes along with number one. You know, I'll pitch it on here on the three. I think another one is that I have to self-sacrifice myself. I have to work myself into the ground. I have to work 20 hours and da 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 just to get success. That
work
is a
hard, play
limiting belief.
hard. Yeah.
Your
Mm.
turn. We're on number four. We'll complete at number five.
Yeah, I suppose I know what you mean. It's a work hard, play hard attitude, isn't it? And it's like,
Well, it's like I have to, in order to be successful, I have to have this, I have to put all this money into it. And sometimes there are, you know, you do have to have intentions, but
yeah,
I think what's common, I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, especially spiritual entrepreneurs. I also had this too, by the way, that I had to really hustle, hustle, hustle to earn the success. So that's number three. What's a number?
um, I think self-sabotage is the big one.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
almost like something within you is saying, oh no, I better not be successful. Oh no, that's, you know, I'll get judged. People criticize me. What is it? Why
There
are
we
you doing
go.
that?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a big one that I had
Being
to get over.
ostracized, judged,
Yeah,
rejected. Those are
yeah.
really, really common. Yeah. And then one more and we'll tie it up because I think this is so helpful to really unpack these.
And also self-belief, inner self-belief. Do you really believe you got what it takes to be that successful entrepreneur?
Yeah. I was going to, sometimes I feel like it's a lack of self-trust or belief in
Yeah,
ourselves.
yeah,
It could
that's
be,
right. It's all that sort of self-trust, self-esteem, self-worth, self-belief, all wrapped up into like, am I the person who's, can I, you know, have I got what it takes? Oh no, almost like, am I, yeah, can I get successful? Have I got what it takes? And so look at the inner self-belief. Do you believe that you can manifest this, or are you worthy of it, kind of thing?
beautiful. And from your work, your perspective, how do you guide people through working through some similar beliefs like this or something different?
So I get people to write them down, limiting beliefs, working on anything in any area, whatever it is, work, career, money. And I'm very much into meditation, so I can do a guided meditation whereby we visualize those beliefs leaving the energy fields and replacing them with kind of better energy. And so it's about that, and it's also about then creating affirmations or something to replace it, like more empowering beliefs. And it's about making sure you're repeating those affirmations day by day, because it's almost like you got to get your subconscious mind to create a new belief. You got to keep saying these words and believing them so that it starts to go into your subconscious mind, because then it will start to change your vibration. You'll start to behave differently.
Besides meditation, what are some in the affirmations? I think meditation affirmations are probably your most recommended. Are there any others for people who need
Yeah.
different tools?
Um, I think to me, it's like meditation. You can meditate when you're walking, when you're gardening. It's like, what is something that what's an activity you enjoy that kind of switches off your mind a bit so that you're always focused. And use that kind of time to just focus on breathing, getting relaxed, and just letting go of the things that don't serve you. Just, I mean, you can just say, I give intent to let go of this limiting belief that money is the root of all evil. You know, you can do that while you're walking or something. It doesn't have to be a meditation, but it's just in a space where you're kind of calm and in the moment, as it were.
Beautiful, beautiful. Any other helpful wisdom tips that we can bring to awareness around this?
About empowerment. I think we need to remember that everything we're believing and everything we're thinking is in our energy fields. And it's almost like as we grow up, our energy field, as a baby, we start off with fabulous light energy fields. And then it's like whenever anything bad happens, it's like, you know, dark water is put into your energy fields. And so it's about making sure that you work on getting rid of those beliefs, even though it takes a while, just to keep working on it. And also working on what, you know, the fact that you are worthy and deserving of having what you want in life. I think a lot of us think we're not. We're brought up to think you're not worthy or deserving, but I've done a lot of work to say, actually, I am, and everybody is. Everybody listening to this, you are worthy and deserving of everything you want. So it's working on those sort of aspects as much as you can.
Yes, so beautiful. Gosh, there was a book. I'm gonna have to look it up because I want to throw in a book recommendation for anyone who really needs, who you resonate with what Malti just said. Like you really are working through that journey of understanding your self-worth. I'm gonna look it up in just a second, but as we start to close, this conversation has been so interesting. And do you have a book recommendation or a powerful quote that you could leave us with?
Actually, the book I've read twice is Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. It's really, really good, I find, when it comes to explaining manifestation. And anything by Wayne Dyer.
Yeah,
But
anything
yeah,
by Every Day.
the Becoming Supernatural is a very good book. I would recommend that. Highly
Yes,
recommend it.
it's also a heavy meditation book. And I think in that one they have the exercise where you lay out all of your beliefs that are no longer serving you on one side of the paper. I think it's that. If it's not that book, it's another Joe Dispenza book, and if I remember correctly, but that was a really good one. If you resonate with this conversation, I really invite you to connect with Malti, connect with her on social media, go to her website. And I love reading out the website verbally, but it is here in the description. So just go down to the description box and click on it. It'll take you directly there. But in case you're like me and you're walking the dog or you're doing the dishes and you're multitasking, I want your brain to at least hear it in the background. So it's www.enlighton. So in light tone, I think I said that right, .co.uk. So click on her link, connect with her. And what is one powerful way that people can work with you or connect with you further?
On the website, there's lots of things. I have a blog comes out every 2 weeks. So you can get lots and lots of tips on how to manifest, how to have the right mindset. And also just, yeah, contact me if you want to work with me to get rid of those beliefs and start creating the best life that you have, that you want. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Malti, for being on the show. Thank you for your time, your energy, and your wisdom. I greatly appreciate it.
Thanks, Vanessa. It's been great talking to you. And yeah, thanks a lot.
You're welcome. And if you loved this episode, send this episode to at least one person. I know you could think of one person today who really is on their manifestation journey. They are creating the life that they desire. They are creating their own reality. We all have one friend that's always on that journey. So
Yeah,
in
true.
this episode, it will greatly resonate with them. Namaste, everyone. Have a great day.